Hi, I'm Maddie from GamesRadar, and we are here at the BAFTA building to talk to the incredible comedian Phil Wang, who has just been announced as the 20th anniversary BAFTA Game Awards host. We are here today at BAFTA with the incredible Phil Wang, comedian, podcaster, writer extraordinaire.
Yes, very extraordinaire.
And now the host of the 20th annual BAFTA Games Awards.
Yeah. That
must be pretty incredible for you as a lifelong gamer.
It's a real honor. I mean, the 20th anniversary, and to be presenting these awards to the people who actually make the games. I mean, they're wizards to me, basically. The people who have made these games. I've played games my whole life, but I was never good at computer science or programming, so it still is basically magic to me. So I feel like I'll be presenting awards to magicians and maybe meeting them.
Yeah, you've been gaming your whole life, haven't you? So your first console was a Sega Saturn?
Sega Saturn, yeah.
Yeah, which is quite an odd console to pick for your first one. I
remember my cousin Daniel was a bit older than me. You always follow your older cousins when it comes to gaming consoles. The PlayStation 1 was out and the Sega Saturn was out.
Yeah, and the N64 too.
I didn't have an N64. I think my cousin Brian had an N64. This is all in Malaysia. This is all in Borneo, And I think maybe we lent more to the Japanese console because we were closer to... Wait, they were all Japanese. But yeah, the Xbox wasn't even a thing yet, so they're all Japanese. And Daniel said this weird thing. He said, if you're deciding between the PlayStation and the Sega Saturn, the PlayStation has better 3D graphics, but the Sega Saturn has better 2D graphics. What nonsense. Doesn't make any sense at all. But I was like, oh yeah, of course, yeah, that makes sense, I guess, in the world. I'm only a child. I'll believe anything you say. And so I'll get the Sega Saturn then so I can play Street Fighter. Mm-hmm. And it won't look terrible like it does on the 3D only PlayStation. It doesn't make any sense. And then I got the Sega Saturn only to play 3D Sonic. So I don't know what that was all about even. So Sega Saturn was my first game console, first proper console. I remember Sonic 3D, which I think must have been the first Sonic that wasn't a side-scroller. You could actually go like this, you could bounce and do these bounce attacks on Robotnik and stuff. I still remember the feel of the sound of hitting the Robotnik and bouncing off. It's still so satisfying. Other than that, I don't remember. I think, there was Street Fighter, and was it Mortal Kombat, and all those crossover fighter games like Capcom versus Marvel and all those. You could be Wolverine and fight Bomberman.
Yeah.
Stuff, it's pretty wild. So those kinds of games were cool. And so that was my first console, was the Sega Saturn. First console. First gaming system was Windows 95.
You played Ski Free, right?
Ski Free. I think that's the first ever game I played, Ski Free, which not everyone remembers. Maybe some people are too young now.
Yeah.
It came free with Windows 95. I don't know if that's why it's Ski Free, because it was free.
Yeah, maybe.
Or Ski Free, it was you're free. You're
free
ski.
To ski.
You're free to ski. You're free to ski for free. I think
you don't owe Microsoft anything.
Yeah, I remember that. That was actually the slogan, the tagline of Ski Free was, you don't owe Microsoft anything.
Yeah, it was.
Pretty bold tagline. You was a 2D game, the Sega Saturn would have crushed it. There's a 2D game, and I guess 8-bit graphics is what you call it, and you just play the ski. You started at the top of the screen, and then you slowly picked up speed, and you skied down the screen, and you had to dodge bumps and dodge trees, and then eventually try and escape the abominable snowman.
Yeah.
That would run out of the forest. Had skinny arms, and he'd go like this and run out of you, pick you up and eat you. It was terrifying.
He freaked me out.
Yeah.
I hated him.
Oh, good. Because he's an awful monster. And he haunts me to this day. And I don't think it's possible to escape him, is it?
I don't think so.
I think it's just when the game had run out of mountain, it's we're not going to give you the satisfaction of finishing the slope, we'll just have you eat.
We'll just murder you instead.
Yeah.
It seems fair.
I think it was an important lesson in life early on, that life isn't fair. And no matter how hard you try, eventually a Yeti will eat you.
Yeah. They might just appear out of nowhere. Yeah. You're on holiday, Yeti comes and gets you.
Always on the lookout.
There might be a Yeti in the BAFTA building.
I went skiing for the first time in my life this year.
Is it because you were so frightened that a Yeti would come and get you?
I think it's called immersion therapy. You have to go where the monster lives and overcome the terror.
Yeah.
And it just about did, but only because I replaced it with a terror of just myself falling over and breaking my legs, which it turns out is a more realistic threat than the Yeti.
What do you think video games mean to you as a whole? So obviously, the BAFTA Games Awards mean a lot to the people who take part in them. It gives them recognition. But on a personal level, what do you think games mean to you? Do you think they helped shape you into the person that you are today? Do you think they helped with your career at all? Or
they helped me stay sane as a child, I think, because, and I was talking to Dara. Oh no, I wasn't talking to Dara. I did this podcast that Dara O'Brien had also done, and now Dara has hosted this a few times before. And I've watched his opening sets for the BAFTA Games Awards, and he was so brilliant and so good at weaving in like references to the industry and with jokes and everything. And we both did a games podcast called My Perfect Console. It's basically like Desert Island Discs for games. And in his story and my story, we both grew up in quite boring places. And I realized a lot of people who love games grew up somewhere quite boring, probably. Mm-hmm. And Borneo is beautiful and stuff, but it's quite boring. There wasn't much to do, and all very remote. Like you couldn't get into town or anything if you were a kid. And so games were like meant that I could be at home and access all these worlds and spend all this time doing things and achieving things and learning things and practicing things and being told stories and meeting characters and being challenged and like exercising problem-solving skills. And so I think the first thing games gave me was like sanity, like literally sanity. And also an appreciation for logic and storytelling, which is what stand-up is. Mm-hmm. Is the jokes are basically about logic and working on logic and with elements of storytelling. And that's kind of what games are to the extent, So I think that's what games have given me, is an escapism. Mm-hmm. I love escaping into a game, which is why I don't really play multiplayer games, because like hearing another human voice is too real.
Yeah.
I mean, they're human voices in games, but hearing like it's another player, I'm like, no, I want to stay engrossed in this, which is actually why. Do you remember Journey? Mm-hmm. I love Journey.
Journey's fantastic.
Because you never hear them speak. You don't know their name. You don't get their gamer tag. You just have this companion with you, and you know they're another gamer, but you don't hear them speak. And so I really love that touch. So like, for me, Journey was like the ideal intersection of multiplayer and single player. But I've always been more of a single player guy. I think part of it, now I think about it, was also that in Borneo, we didn't have internet good enough to play multiplayer online. And so I just got used to playing like literally Battlefield 1942 single player with bots, because we just we literally didn't have the servers to play against real people. Yeah.
So on the topic of you being more of a fan of like solo games, more narrative-driven games, I know you probably shouldn't be biased, but I'm going to ask you to be biased for a minute. Who would you pick as the winner for Best Narrative this year?
Oh, Best Narrative. I mean, it's a difficult question. Something like Baldur's Gate obviously has a huge sprawling narrative, but it's kind of decided by the player, by the genius that it isn't actually, but feels like it's designed by the player. I'm also playing Dave the Diver, which is also nominated, but then also I'm playing Viewfinder, which is a British indie game, and that's got this sort of Portal-y kind of storytelling vibe, and I love that kind of storytelling with like silent protagonist and things appearing around you. But I think it's sort of anyone's game. Something with Dave the Diver, what I think was interesting is like, I wonder if there's been a revival of those like text-based dialogues, and because of subtitles, how much people watch TV with subtitles now.
Yeah.
It feels like it's more okay to like have the game stored like that. But yeah, I mean, the field's wide open. It's not my job to say.
No.
But
you can have a favourite. I know you're a big fan of games like Total War. You did a series with them. You've also mentioned in the past Papers, Please has been a really...
I love Papers, Please.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game. Do you think about any particular game that's like connected with you emotionally on a deeper level? Like, for example, me, I think about Red Dead Redemption 2 quite a lot. So yeah, I was just wondering if there's any sort of like emotional connection you have to a specific game or a specific moment from gaming.
The end of Last of Us...
Yeah.
The end of The Last of Us like made me like cry. I can't believe that ending. That kind of like almost Sopranos-esque ending. Like a game that to have an ending that's sort of both satisfying and sort of depressing and like devastating, that was such a stroke of genius. That ending stayed with me a lot. The end of Portal 2 stays with me a lot because is it a spoiler? That's one with the moon at the end, right?
Yes.
Unbelievable.
So good.
Yes, just genius with the moon. I couldn't believe it was a moon. Amazing with the moon. I couldn't believe the moon. Earlier on, Metal Gear Solid 2. I spent a lot of time on Metal Gear Solid 2 to the extent that Jack is just forever in my brain. Every time I fall over, I just say, Jack! And the thing about the Hideo Kojima games, I guess, is like, you finish it and you go, I understood that story. And then you think about it, like, no, I didn't.
It made no sense at all.
I played Death Stranding in lockdown, which I couldn't believe the timing of it. Because literally lockdown happened, and I started playing, and we were like living, just watching TV and getting food and packages delivered to us by hero-like delivery people. And then suddenly I'm playing a game about a post-apocalyptic world in which I'm playing a delivery man trying to get packages across a deserted tundra. And I was living in the deserted London at the time. So I mean, in terms of timing, that was great. That's also when I played Last of Us 2. So really focused all the depressing, sad, post-apocalyptic games into the worst possible time I could have been playing them. But yeah, Death Stranding kind of stayed with me, and Last of Us has always stayed with me, and Metal Gear Solid. And of course, FIFA. What a story.
Oh, it's the best story out there, honestly. I don't know why it's up for it's not up for best narrative.
Just a real tearjerker. FIFA 24 is like, wow. Oscars.
Sit there and wipe away my tears whenever I play FIFA. So, yeah, 2023 was obviously a massive year for gaming. A lot of people are saying it's the best year we've had in gaming for quite some time. Is there anything that stood out to you personally from last year's games?
I mean, personally, this is how I've been busy touring and stuff for the last couple of years, and so it's taken me a while to get back into gaming properly. And I got my first Switch last year, and I mean, this is how amazing the Switch is. It felt to me like it was made in 2023 because it's just an unbelievable bit of kit. And I was playing Zelda Breath of the Wild. I'm still on Breath. I'm still Breath of the Wild. I'm still on Breath of the Wild with Zelda. So personally, that was my gaming experience. Was finally getting a Switch, and finally playing Zelda. In terms of the other games news, I mean, what's stuck out to me, I think, is Baldur's Gate was hard to escape, just the scale of it and the technological. It felt a bit like the way people talk about AI. It was like we've hit a new era of technological advancement with Baldur's Gate, and I'm still early on with it, but already I'm like, oh, but if my character was shorter, this would have been physically shorter. How would that have turned out? If I hadn't discovered this before that, how would that have turned out? And I've studied maths. I understand the mathematics of permutations, and it's just I literally don't understand technically how they've done it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think there's 17,000 endings or something like that, which is just insane.
But it is not including you could be wearing this shirt.
Yeah, I think it goes down to that. I think someone recently found an ending where they were all cats.
No.
Yeah.
Come on, spoilers, please. That's the ending I was hoping for. Really? That's wow. Yeah, the sort of storytelling mechanics of Baldur's Gate felt to me like a Rubicon had been crossed in gaming. And everyone in gaming was going, wow, we didn't know this was possible.
Yeah.
And then I guess also, maybe it's a bit left field, and maybe it's not exactly what you're asking, but the Last of Us TV series.
Yeah.
Because so in the history of video games to screen adaptations, it's always been a joke, right? That it never works. And then they did it with The Last of Us. And not only that, they added a whole new story in it that works in both episode 3, is it? That works in both the universe of the TV series and in the universe of the game. And I think that was also a landmark because it showed that video games are narratively sophisticated enough that they can be transferred to TV, but also TV storytelling with long-form storytelling on streamers has become sophisticated enough that it can tell video game stories, because video games, the stories can be so big. It's all about, you have to set up a world, and then you got to set up all these characters and all the backstory and all the mechanics, and that was cool, seeing like the mechanics of a game depicted in a TV show, like when they have to fight the first clicker and they're like crouching and you feel like you're playing the game. I thought that was really cool. So I guess those have been my two landmark moments for gaming in the last year.
Since you're a Baldur's Gate player, I've got to ask, what class are you playing and what race is your character?
I am a half orc called Gromus. I just took the name Thomas and I put a Gra, because like all orcs have to be Gra.
Yeah.
They all start with Gra. So I'm Gromus.
Nice.
I'm a paladin. Who sworn the oath of vengeance.
Nice.
Yeah, I feel like a bit of a. My first run through RPG, I always think I'm going to go for something interesting, and then I go for something like just like it feels like a very sort of like. I always try not to be like too toxic male with my choices, like just a knight, and he's like a sworn to vengeance, and he has fire spells, and he's good with blades, and he's got 0 charisma and no intelligence. And I always like, no, I want to try out the other mechanics. So Paladin's quite good because he can do like a bit of magic and stuff. So those are my class and race. I spent so much time on designing that character. Too many options, man. Yeah. Too many options. I mean, the genital option, I couldn't believe it.
It's incredible. Yeah.
That took me 2 hours alone. I spent more time trying to pick between dicks than I did picking my class and subclass, I swear. I was like, oh, the paladin, yeah, Oath of Vengeance looks cool. Penis B or penis C? I'm looking up like forums, like what are do you get perks with penis C?
Do I have more charisma with penis B or not?
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. Yeah, that was astonishing, man. Yeah, so that's yeah. So half orc, paladin, Oath of Vengeance, penis C.
Nice. Yeah, I'd say that's a good mix.
Yeah, I think he covers a lot of ground.
Yeah.
In a lot of areas. Yeah.
Do you have a favourite companion so far in Baldur's Gate?
I like Italian. Italian? Latian? Well, I can never remember their names. Italian. Latian.
Astarian?
Astarian. I'm really bad with names. I'm just so bad with names. I like Astarian because he can pick locks.
Yeah.
And Gromus can't pick locks.
His hands are too big.
And Penis C has been useless as far as the locks are concerned. Penis C is really not pulling its weight yet.
Well, Astarian actor Neil Newbon is actually up for Best Actor in a Leading Role as well, so you can meet him in person and thank him for picking all those locks for you.
Maybe he'll appear beside me, I won't even notice.
Crouching all the way down.
Yeah.
He might bite you, though.
Maybe he'll attempt a ranged acceptance. Can you do that?
Make peace from far away first. This one's a bit of a wild card, but I think it would be quite good fun. You've already created Gromus.
Grom for sure.
Grom for sure, yeah. If you could be in any video game universe, which one would it be and what would you be in it? Would you be the hero? Would you be the villain? Would you be shopkeeper number 4 who sells you fire potions?
You know what? A world that I was in briefly when I was a child and I've always wanted to go back to was Harvest Moon.
Yeah, that's so
Harvest
lovely.
Moon looks like a good life.
It does.
I'd love to just own a shop in Harvest Moon. Like the older ones, the 2D top-down ones. Yeah. What a peaceful life that was. I need to go out and play that again, man. I think I ruined a save file or something. I corrupted a save file and it's like, I can't go back. I need to go back and play that whole Harvest Moon. I can't remember what it's called, which one it was. Harvest Moon, Eternal Vengeance. It wouldn't have been Eternal Vengeance. Harvest Moon.
Promise is in that one.
Yeah, Revenge of Gromus. I can't remember which Harvest Moon it was, but it's so beautiful and so calming. I think it would be the world of Harvest Moon I'd live in because it's good. I think that's the age I'm in my 30s.
Yeah.
You know.
You just want calming games when you get older.
Yeah. Modern Warfare is for your teens. In your 20s, what are your 20s? maybe like post-apocalyptic is 20s. In your 30s, you just want to settle down. You want to own a sickle shop, and you only sell sickles.
Is that what you'd sell?
Yeah. And I have one diamond sickle that is going to take ages for anyone to afford, but I somehow afford the upkeep of my sickle shop, even though I literally have one customer, and he buys a sickle like once a year. To have a sickle shop in Harvest Moon, that's where I want to be.
You have a name for your sickle shop?
Wang Sickles.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. I thought about it for a while.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Sickles and pickles. I also sell pickles. I should have said, I sell sickles, but also like preserved onions and gherkins.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
Thank you. Sickles and pickles.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Maddie.
Pleasure to meet you.
It's lovely to meet you too.
And good luck for hosting.
Thank you very much. Want to see you there?
I don't know.
Okay.
I hope so.
Still the stream.
Yes, yeah. Maybe I'll just stand outside the venue and just wave from afar.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you'll pretend you don't know me.
Ranged wave.
Yeah. Yeah, the Starian will be next to me. We'll be far away.
I'm just like, miss.
You roll a big dice, you get a 1. But thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Maddie. You too.